Meet Adrien, an American who opened a pizza shop in China's countryside. With his unique fusion of local ingredients and Western cooking, his restaurant quickly becomes a viral sensation, attracting both locals and tourists.
The pizza to try in China.
Yes.
This week on China Unpacked, Adrien opened up about what it's really like to open a restaurant in rural China. From adapting food to local tastes, to earning the trust of a tight-knit community, Adrien proves that no matter how different we might seem, food as a way of bringing people together. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of China Unpacked. And in this episode, I have a very, very special guest for you. He opened up a pizzeria in the middle of rural China. It has went super viral and all over the country. And not only that, he has gained the approval of the local people. I mean, they love his pizza, right?
Hell yeah.
Did you get the key to the city? Or the key to the village? Have you got that?
Dude, I definitely got the key to the village. No, I'm just kidding. It's a big old key. I can barely fit it in my house. Yeah. Hi. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you, Adrien, so much to be on this show. I think what you did basically encapsulate what we're doing with this podcast. Is basically we're trying to bridge the culture between China and the world. And you did it basically by move all the way to China and then opened up a pizzeria in Anhui province, the rural area of Anhui province. But let's go back to the beginning, all right? Let's go back to your existence before China. Okay. So where were you from? Where did you grow up?
I'm from Tucson, Arizona. And grew up there. Went to Tucson High. And that's basically when it ended. After graduation, I went to the U of A for 1 year. And then that was it. Then I came to China.
Wow. So it's literally after you spent a little time in college and you decided to move to China.
That's correct.
Why did you make that decision? Or why did you choose China?
Yeah, I mean, it's a super random story. But there is a reason behind the madness. When I was a baby, just born, 1 year old, my parents hired a Chinese woman to take care of me and my brother because they were working during the day, right? Apparently, the first year of my life, which I don't remember, she took care of me and held me in her arms and sung to me and spoke to me in Chinese. And the first words that I began to muster as a baby were actually in Chinese, not in English, because I was ending up spending more time with her than with my parents. And obviously I don't remember any of this, but it just became a really popular story in my household. Just Adrien's first language was Chinese, and how it was just such a funny and interesting thing. And it became legendary. And somehow it just stuck with me. My interest just kept on getting stronger and stronger. And I said to my mom that I really wanted to go to China. And my mom's a language teacher. She taught at Anhui High School for 40 years, French, German, and Spanish. And so she, had a lot of connections in the international linguistics scene. And so she ended up finding a summer program job in Jiangsu province for a month in 2006. So I was a sophomore in high school. And she found that basically just so we could go to China, so she could take me to China. And we went and had an amazing month, life-changing. And after that month, came back and I was like, okay, China, man, I gotta go back. This is it, man. Yeah.
So that caretaker basically planted the seed.
She planted the seed.
For what about to happen for the rest of your life?
Yeah, so
that was meant to be.
It's destiny, man. It's destiny.
Yeah. Have you met her after?
No.
What?
It's crazy. My parents don't even really know her full name. They just know her like, apparently her name was Qing.
Qing?
But my parents, yeah, maybe, who knows? My parents don't speak Chinese. And I've tried like reaching out because, I've had several interviews here in China as well about, the things that I'm doing. And I've said officially on the airwaves, like, if you're there, the boy you took care of in Tucson, Arizona in 1990, like, if you're there, come find me. But I haven't heard anything. So she hasn't seen my videos.
So here's another call. Yeah, if you're watching this video, Qing, we want you to contact Adrien. We want you to come to his pizza shop and
Yes.
see what he's become.
我请你吃披萨.
So in 2006, you moved to Jiangsu province, and you were there for a month, and you're like, wow, this is amazing. You want to go back. This is dope. So you were in the U.S. after that experience, right? Then what did you do to trying to get back into China?
I finished my last 2 years at Tucson High, and actually when I was a senior in high school, it was the first year that they offered a Chinese class at the high school. And so I jumped on that. I took the first year Mandarin class as a senior, even though I didn't need the credits or anything. It's just, I wanted it. And I did that, and I learned, a little bit of Chinese from this white woman who had lived in China. And so she spoke like pretty good Chinese, and like it was awesome. Mm-hmm. And then graduated from high school, and I went to U of A and basically just took Chinese courses every day. And yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to learn Chinese in America. So I thought...
Were you about to give up at some point?
No, I wasn't going to give up. I just knew I needed to come back to China. I just didn't want to be in the States doing this. I thought, like, the best way to learn the language is just to go there. My mom helped me find, like, this volunteering job at a kindergarten here in China. Because I was, like, 18, 19 years old, zero teaching experience, obviously. Through one of her old colleagues, she found this woman who had a couple daycares in Tucson and a couple, like, bilingual kindergartens in China. And that's what she does. She like takes volunteer foreign teachers from around the world to go volunteer at her kindergarten. And so that was great. She, paid for room and board and everything for the year. And all I had to do was work at her school. And it got me there. And so that's how I ended up in Chengdu. And so like I could have gone to that university in Nanjing and continued getting my credits for the U of A and do like a semester or a year and then go back to the U of A and finish my degree. At that time I was thinking maybe that's what I wanted to do. But I ended up just staying in Chengdu because I really liked it. I was, making friends. I just decided to stay, and I enrolled in Sichuan University and got my bachelor degree at Sichuan University.
Wow, Sichuan University. Wow, so you can speak some Sichuanese as well, right?
I mean, technically, I guess, yeah. Like, I have a lot of friends in Chengdu, and when they speak Chengdu Hua, I can understand. But it's been 8 years since I lived there. Now my Chinese is more like Huangshan style.
Huangshan Hua.
So it's like wherever I am, you kind of pick up on the local accent type thing. But I'm very familiar with Chengdu Hua, and I can understand it and everything.
How did you make the move from Chengdu to Huangshan?
Yeah,
when did that happen?
I met my wife, Xiaoqiu, in Chengdu. We were both university students there at different universities. We actually met at a music festival. There's this huge music festival in China called Strawberry Music Festival.
Oh, yeah.
And so we met there, and love at first sight. And then after we graduated from university, I worked in Chengdu for like a year or two post-graduation. And I had been to her home in Huangshan several times. And I mean, it's amazing here. I fell in love with it. The first time traveling here, just its natural beauty and everything about it was so different from Chengdu. Yeah, it was a really easy move here. It was something that I really wanted because, I kind of wanted a little bit more of nature and countryside, things like that. And it's Xiaoqiu's home as well. So it was a really easy decision to make. Yeah.
So when you made that move, did you know you were going to open a restaurant? Or was that something that came up later?
No. And I mean, even when I opened the restaurant, I didn't know I was going to open a restaurant. Like
You're opening it right now. Like, this is my restaurant, but I don't know if it's going to be a restaurant.
It was going to happen. Exactly. Like, no, I mean, so, because I was teaching English basically for the entirety of my time in Chengdu. It's like, the best job for a native English speaker who's a student. And so, by the time I graduated, I had 8 years of teaching experience under my belt, teaching many ages, but mostly, younger education. And so when we moved here, we thought it would be a great idea just to kind of open our own little training school. And so, we started a couple classes, started to make a name for ourselves here in the town, in the city. About a year after moving here, I also got a job at the university here, Huangshan Xueyuan. And so I was teaching at the university during the day, and we had like our own little classes after school and on the weekends. I was working my butt off. But it was really good. And and then in 2021, we decided to close the school. And then I just continued to work at the university, which was chill. And obviously, 2020 was basically when COVID hit, right? Luckily, I still had my stable job at the university. Things started opening up again. And, it's like spring. Everybody wanted to go out. And there was this huge craze, in a grassy park or whatever. And there's things for kids to play with, and there might be a little bit of live music, and there's people selling food, selling arts and crafts, whatever that's called, street fair, park fair. So there was this huge park fair craze, post-COVID, first spring, good weather. I had a small obsession with pizza at the time.
Tell us about how did you get obsessed with pizza?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It happened a long time ago, really. The very beginning was I wanted to eat pizza, and back in the day in Chengdu, there was really no good pizza. There was one guy, Mike's Pizza. And anybody who's from Chengdu who's watching this knows Mike, from the old days. Mike's Pizza was the original good pizza, proper American style, New York pizza. But, it's pretty expensive. So sometimes you just start messing around yourself. You're well, I can just kind of try to make something that's pretty good at home too. Which, once you really get into the pizza world, you discover that you can't. It's really hard to make proper pizza with normal home tools. Over the course of many years, and then through COVID, I had the small obsession, and I would buy this necessary oven or this necessary tool, and eventually it all added up, and you gained plenty of experience, scrounging YouTube and Reddit for all possible information about making pizza. And especially during COVID, you're at home with nothing to do. And so I was pretty good at making pizza by the time COVID was over, and I went to a couple of these fairs, started selling pizza. Oh, right. And then there's the whole choguiyu pizza thing, which is kind of my thing.
After you open your restaurant, and that's one of the menu, or was it earlier?
No, it's long before that.
Long before. So you were at the fair,
right.
You had the choguiyu pizza at the fair?
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
So actually how it started, also during COVID, I started my TikTok account, right? And so that's kind of the beginning of of everything because, I started putting my name out there for everybody to see, and kind of like promoting myself in a way. That's what TikTok does. And so my channel started off, it's called 卓文的小食堂. And we didn't really think about the name that much. We just thought it sounded cute, because I was just making food at home, Chinese food, Western food, food from my childhood. I tried to have it like there was some story involved with the food that I was making. Like there's a reason why I'm making it. I'm not just like cooking some random shit. I was confronted by like local media or whatever, and they were like, "Oh, we have this 초계유 cooking competition that we're having, and we want you to attend." And I was just like, "What? What are you talking about?" Right?
Super random.
And super random. And the only connection that I can make is like at the very beginning when I first moved to Huangshan, I did this segment with CCTV, like 中央电视台. They did this segment about like foreigners living in China. And so one of them was they asked me to do it, and I was like, okay, sure. But it turned out to be really cool because there's a 非遗传承人. It's like intangible heritage inheritance. And so there are these inheritors of these hundreds of years of intangible culture. And so it's like any kind of craft that's not a thing. It's intangible, but it's an important part of local culture. And so 초계유 is one of those things, like the preserved mandarin fish. And so there's one of the 초계유, intangible cultural heritage inheritors. His name is 钟大厨, 钟少华. He was part of the film too. And so the idea was like, I, as this foreigner, was supposed to like go to him and be like, hey, teach me how to make 초계유. Even though it's like, family secret for hundreds of years. And so then his thing was like, he had to have me go around Huizhou, which is like the local area, and learn about where the ingredients come from, the history and the culture behind these ingredients. And so I go out into the countryside and I do this and I do that. And I bring him all these ingredients and I'm like, master, I'm ready,
Wait,
and
what?
Then
is that like is that like a scavenger hunt or what? Like he just said, hey, go find these ingredients. Go ask local people. Go collect all the ingredients.
It's like a scavenger hunt. He's like, go to the river and catch a fish. Go and get me some hotei. And it's like, okay. And then like go to the mountain and get me some bamboo, And so we do all these things. And that was really cool because I had just arrived in Huangshan. And so it was actually a really great introduction to all of these amazing, unique cultural things and the local ingredients and where they come from and all that. It was super cool. I bring them back and I'm like, teach me. And so he teaches me how to make 초계유. And that was my introduction in the kitchen, in like the professional Chinese kitchen. He's like teaching me how to cook the fish, right? And then he kind of teaches me how to preserve it as well. But he keeps a few things secret because it's a secret, right? Anyway, so I kind of had that under my belt and I kind of had this weird connection with the fish already from the beginning. Anyway, and so they asked me to go to the competition and I'm like, okay, well, what am I going to do that's interesting and like different or special? Because I'm not actually there to compete. There are professional chefs there who have been, cooking for their entire lives, we call them 徽州名厨, right? They're like these big badass chefs who are participating, right? And I'm like, so I'm obviously not going to win, but I can have fun with it, right? Yeah, I don't know. Somehow the idea of chogueyu pizza had already been like tossed around a little bit between like Xiaoqiu and even some of our family members or some of our friends. People, I don't know, it just kind of, there was like a big brainstorm one day or something. And this idea had already been kind of floating in the brainwaves a little bit. But then here was the chance, you know? And it was like, okay, we'll use this as the perfect excuse or opportunity to create the chogueyu pizza. And so we did. And yeah, I took it to the competition and it was all the rage, man. And it basically blew up that day, but I didn't make it again until these fairs, which was like maybe 1 or 2 years later already at the fair. And then it blew up again at the fair because everybody was like, what the hell, chogueyu pizza? But it's good. Like, it's actually yummy, you know? It's not just for kicks or whatever. It's like actually delicious.
What is chogueyu and what does it mean? Like, what does it taste like?
Okay, it's a really good question. Yeah, what is chogueyu? Like, it's a really delicious freshwater fish. It doesn't have a lot of the little bones within the meat. It has a really meaty texture. It doesn't just fall apart in your mouth. It has good texture. And so then the chogueyu, cho means stinky, all right? And so translated directly is stinky Mandarin fish, right? But we like to use the word preserved. But yeah, so it is a preserved fish. It's preserved in salt and maybe some other spices. And basically its own juices. And so, yeah, traditionally they would take it's actually like a hickory barrel, a wooden barrel, and put the fish in, stack a couple, first like tons of salt in it, around it, and then stack them up and then put some river rocks on top to press it down, right? And keep it in a not too hot, not too cold room for, depending on the season, for a week to 2 weeks. All right. So these things are sitting there, room temperature for 7 to 14 days, just in salt and spices and their own juices. Marinating.
What does their juice taste like?
Well, so it does not. It's not nice. Like, it's called stinky for a reason. Like, it does smell bad. Like, pretty.
So that's from the fish itself, not from the preserved.
Well, yeah. So because the fish is just like sitting there, right? And so it does like actually start to smell bad. But cho, like stinky, is a very important part of Chinese cuisine. Like, it's a flavor. It's something that is strived for. Like, you try to achieve this flavor called cho, and there are different kinds of cho. There's a multitude of different variations of cho, right? And so chogueyu is one of those variations. It's delicious, right? But it smells pretty bad before you cook it. But once you take it out, you wash it and you cook it, that cho becomes umami, basically. And so once it's flavored and cooked properly, it has a strong umami, salty, spicy, a little bit sweet. And the texture of the fish after it's preserved is it's much stronger. Like, the fibers become much more tense. And so the fish itself has much more bite to it. It's and much more than any kind of fresh fish would ever give you.
The chogueyu competition, you made a big wave, right?
Yeah, right.
Did you won? Was there like a war or anything? Or
no, I didn't get any awards, but I got plenty of media attention, right? Yeah, because it was very unique. That was later, and then I did all the fairs, right? And then it's coming close to the beginning of the restaurant. Like, in summer of 2023, there's this village just down the way called Nanxinan Village. And there was a big like government project happening there to like all around the country. There's these countryside projects that are subsidized by the government to like rejuvenate the countryside and kind of stimulate local economies and stuff like that. And I was basically invited to be a part of it. And they asked me if I wanted to open a pizza restaurant. Basically, I think. Something like that. They were like, do you want to come and make pizza here? Because I had, been making pizza at several of the fairs and kind of, also began to make a small name for myself. And then it just worked out perfectly because the name of the TikTok account, 周恩的小食堂, like Adrien's little cantina, is like kind of a perfect name for a restaurant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it just worked out. And they were like, you want to come and make pizza here? And at that time, I had this small obsession with pizza, right? And so by that time, I was already dreaming about making a wood-fired oven, right? But you can't just make I don't have a big backyard here in China. I live in an apartment, right? And so it was just like this dream come true. It was like, what, are you kidding me? I can come to this village and I can have this little house here and I can make a wood-fired oven and I can make wood-fired pizza. I was just like, all right, you must be kidding me.
And they pay for everything.
Right.
They subsidize everything.
Yeah, the first investment, because later on we ended up having to invest ourselves, which we were perfectly happy to do. But the very beginning, which is the most important step, basically, it was completely 100% subsidized by the government.
Wow.
And so we got in for zero money, and we weren't planning on opening a restaurant. Like I still had my job at the university, and we were really into social media basically, and so we thought this would be a really cool story for our social media, right? Good content.
So you were thinking about content before you even.
Yeah, we weren't thinking of opening a
like,
restaurant. Hell no. Like there was no way we were planning on opening a restaurant. We just thought this will be really fun. It's like a dream come true. And it gives us really unique content because we're out in the countryside. I can maybe like grow vegetables or like see what, get like local in season vegetables and like make food with it and yada, yada, yada. Like that. We got everything ready and we opened. And when we opened the place, we also started an account on Red, 小红书. Because before that, we only had an account on TikTok. And so it was like, okay, well, we're doing social media like for real now. Like we should open a Red account too. And so we opened a Red Note account, and the first video that we posted on Red Note and subsequently also on TikTok just went like pretty viral. After that video, basically we just had people showing up from all over the place to this random village to come eat pizza. And we were just like, wait, what? What are you talking about? Like, okay, I'll make pizza for you, right? There was like a line out the door and we had no idea what we were doing. We had, we had no like equipment that a restaurant should have. We had no place to take people's orders. No like cash machine, no online system, no nothing. And we only had like 3 tiny little tables in this tiny little room. I mean, it's a story for the history books because this little boy, Chen, right? He also became like pretty famous on our account because he was there. We started in summer vacation and he's this little boy from the village. And he and I became fast friends when I was like building the oven and everything. And then when we opened, he would just come every day to like hang out. And then when we all of a sudden got busy, he just became our number one helper. And he was like taking orders and and passing out the pizza, and like it was crazy. And so then we had basically like 3 kids from the village, like who just wanted to be there to help us, helping us.
Wow.
And I mean, they had a great summer vacation hanging out, and we gave them all kinds of pizza and like their favorite sodas and whatever. But yeah, we had a great time. It was amazing. Eventually, we realized, okay, well, there's a lot of people coming to eat pizza, and so we thought, well, maybe we'll do this thing for real. And the like original tiny little room with 3 tables wasn't enough for like what we needed for it to be like a real restaurant. So we ended up, after the summer vacation we closed it for 2 weeks, and we remodeled again and like opened up some walls and made it better. And we're like, okay, well, now we're a restaurant. And yeah, we learned a lot and developed from there.
So at the beginning, you're just like, there are just tons of people walking in, and you're like, what the hell? Like, we don't even have the manpower to like handle this many people.
No, it was crazy. And like, so, my wife, Xiaoqiu, and then we also have another partner, like her really good friend, and also her sister-in-law. So it's the 3 of us who kind of like were working together doing the social media thing, kind of like running a business, right? A media company. And then, yeah, I mean, I had a good friend who came and just like helped me in the kitchen too, with all kinds of preparation and like when it got really busy, because it was insane. It was mad. It was mad. Yeah. Those are the good old days. Wow. It's not like that anymore. But yeah, at the beginning, man, it was crazy.
I see those video on your channel. Like, who does the editing? Who does like the storytelling? I feel like it's just so well edited. You're such a great storyteller. Like, it's like every video I watch, like there's like a lesson in there somewhere, right? So like, is this something you're natural at, or?
No, I mean, I don't know. Maybe sometimes like it's real emotion, and it's real things that I was going through and feeling and thinking at the time. And then, yeah, I mean, so Xiaoqiu and I are the creators of the videos. We work together, and we have ideas together. We brainstorm together. We have many videos. Some maybe I wrote it more, or some maybe it was something that she wrote. But yeah, it's all real emotion. And then most of the editing and all of the production work and stuff is all Xiaoqiu. Yeah, and so she's really good at that. Technically, it is what she like went to university for. She actually went to like media school, and she majored in like directing. She has a natural gift for it. Yeah, we say in Chinese, 天时地利人和, like a perfect storm, just everything came together and it just fit. And it just worked.
That's like literally the perfect scenario. Like you and the partner, you guys live together and you guys do everything in house. It's a family business.
Yeah, it's a family business.
Going back to your previous point, you said it didn't last long. How long did that last? Like,
let's say we made mistakes along the way, but we're still here, and we're still going strong. You just have to figure out like the next steps for things, like the natural process of things. But like, yeah, I mean, that first summer was obviously insane because we weren't prepared for anything. Right after that, we had national holiday in October, which was crazy all over again. Like the weekends would be really good, and then the weekdays would just, be much slower. But then the weekend would come back, and then the holidays would just be insane. And yeah, I mean, it was like that for like 2 years. So we're hoping now, 2026, we want to diversify and figure out how to keep the momentum going, but still grow and develop. So yeah, we're trying to figure that out.
Maybe you come up with something else that's viral, like 臭鳜鱼 pizza. Maybe it could be another fusion of Hui cuisine and like Western food.
I know. It's crazy. Like, I've tried many different things. They're good, but none of them hit as hard. Like the chogueyu one, that was the winner, man. Yeah.
That's your top seller, right?
Yeah, for sure.
When people come, that's literally what they get.
Yeah. Well, and so we also have like a half and half pizza with the chogueyu and the mao tofu, which is the hairy tofu. And so that's probably the top seller because people can get both flavors in one pizza. They love to ferment stuff here, as you're kind of catching on, right? It's fermented tofu, but fermented in a way that it grows a mold, and this mold is very long, and it just covers the tofu in fur, like really long hair.
Wow!
And so the fungus.
Edible?
It's edible. It's edible fungus.
A lot of people who's watching this, they might be interested in possibly moving to China or even opening up a business or a restaurant in China, right? So like, you as someone who has the experience opening up a very successful restaurant, even though you didn't know what you were doing at the beginning, but you learn a lot of things. You learn so many things along the way. What's like some advice you will give to people?
Dream big, man. Go big. Go big or don't go at all.
Go big or go home.
Yeah, go big or go home, right? All right, that's better advice.
you can't be too rational. I feel like if it was like someone who has like the experience of like opening a lot of restaurants, they will probably like do like market research, and they do like, like demographic research. But then they're like, they will never open a restaurant in rural Anhui province. They will never open a pizzeria in rural Anhui province if they did all that, right?
That's the point. Yeah, that's why nobody does it, because it's not the best decision. We just got really lucky. Everything just worked out. Yeah. And I mean, and we now, after these, 3 years, we really know how lucky we got, because we tried to copy and paste it. We tried to do the same thing in different places, and it just doesn't work.
Oh, yeah. So you tried to open up this restaurant in like another city?
Yeah. We tried it in a city. We tried it in another like countryside. We tried it a couple times, and basically they just all fell through. Yeah. So there's just something magical about this place and how it all happened. Sometimes it seems like when things just happen without you really planning for it to happen, those might be the best things.
Wow, so it's like you cannot replicate something that's authentic, because what you did was very like open up in this village in this town, and then like the local people come through and they try everything. They're like, what is this? Like, they're curious, and then you had the kids come and help you. Like, that's like, you cannot replicate that. If you're doing another city, it would just be like a chain store.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not the same.
It's like when we first started in this village, we had like no ulterior motive. It was just literally for fun, like for ourselves, to learn, to experience, right, to grow. But then when you like open it as a business, you have like this business mind, and it I don't know, it just doesn't work the same, at least for us, for what we're doing.
You have the location in Nanxinan, all right?
Yeah.
And then you have another one in like the main city of Huangshan, right?
Well, so right now we have like a little pizza window in the old street of the city that we're in right now, which is very close to the village, by the way. They're very close. But yeah, we opened a little pizza window, and we do like delivery and stuff, because in the village we can't do any delivery in the city here, and that's going okay. But, it's nothing compared to, the beginning.
So I noticed about a few months ago you started to posting on Instagram. So that's how I first found you, and I thought, wow, this guy, he literally just started a pizzeria in Anhui. So I thought like that was when it happened, but it actually happened like 2 years before, right?
Yeah.
So why did you start to post on Instagram?
Yeah, it's a good question. We were doing social media, right? It's something that we are trying to, develop. And, we've been pretty good with TikTok and Red Note, Chinese TikTok, Douyin, and Red Note. Yeah, we thought, why not try Instagram? And then actually, we were in Italy for the pizza competition in June of last year. And, when we were abroad, we wanted to share our social media with people, but we didn't have it. And so that was really embarrassing, kind of. It was like, oh, shit. Like, we're fine in China, but the instant we go abroad, we're just, like, lost, and we have nothing to show people. Like, who are we, what we're doing, things like that. And so it was actually after that trip that we were like, okay, no, this is bullshit. We gotta get on this. And so we were like, okay, Instagram, get it. So yeah, we started posting our old videos, like the beginning of our journey, those original videos. We picked and chose like some of the more classic ones or some of the better ones. And so that's kind of what our Instagram account is right now. And it's been a minute since we posted a new video, which is, it's just our problem. Like it's really hard to just like stay on everything because there's just, 3 of us, which says a lot of people, but, we have a lot on our plates. We lose focus sometimes. And so, there's definitely room for improvement there. But, our Instagram account right now is basically just like a chronicle of like all of the most classic times in Nanshinan. And we were really surprised how that went as well, because it's that same video, that first video that went viral when we first posted it on Red Note, and Douyin also like did pretty well on Instagram. And so we're just like, there's some magic around this video, like this story, this time, this exact thing, like this environment. There's just something about it, man. It doesn't matter what country, who's watching it. It's just something special about it. Yeah, pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's just when I saw that video, it was like, wow, this is such like a picture perfect countryside. And then this guy just opened up a pizza restaurant. It looks amazing. The pizza looks amazing. The local people's reaction were wonderful. And then like, I'm like, this is literally like, you can write a better script than this.
Yeah, I know. And it was all real. And then, I just wrote like a couple sentences. It's like really minimal about, what I thought about it. Yeah.
Wow. It's the viral code. That's the 流量密码.
I know, right? But it's hard to copy and paste. Yeah, exactly. Authenticity is the key.
I'm curious, could you say when you went to a pizza competition in Italy, did you make the chogoyu pizza over there?
Well, so there was a logistical issue with bringing the fish over there. And so I decided to take the hairy tofu instead, because it's like easier to travel, I thought. And so I brought hairy tofu pizza to the international pizza stage in Italy.
What did they think? What did the Italian people think?
They were shocked. No, but again, media attention, like the media jumped on it. They were just like, what is going on? And also, I was the odd one out again, as usual, because it's an international thing. And so you go with your country. And so it was like, I was part of the China team, right? Because like, I'm part of the Chinese pizza scene, like, and everybody else is Chinese, basically. I'm just like in the China team, got my Chinese flag and shit, and then like got, this face, and then I'm making some really strange hairy tofu pizza. And yeah, it was wild, man.
What was their reaction? Like, did they love it, or did they were like, what
No,
is this?
they didn't love it, but they were very curious. They were interested, and they had more of an open mind than I thought, actually. Yeah. And I mean, it was just a few, like
right.
just the few judges who happened to be there at that time.
I guess, what is your plan for the future, for 2026 or the next few years? Like,
Yeah.
are you planning to opening another restaurant, or like new
No,
ventures?
so
Or are you
no,
planning-
we have learned our lesson. Like, don't just we can't just open restaurants. Like, it's really difficult. Opening a restaurant is exceedingly difficult. It requires 100% of your time and attention. It requires 100% of your wallet, and it's a big endeavor. And so we've tried that, and we've tried it in many different ways, like personal investment, cooperation, this and that, the other. We've tried it. And so, no, we don't want to do that anymore.
It is very tough to open up a restaurant in China.
In general, I think.
In general,
yeah. And I mean, in the United States, it's exceedingly difficult as well. You need, obviously, quite a big investment. And then there's a lot of hurdles that you have to jump through, to be legal and everything. Really, I mean, opening it is the easy part. It's running it and maintaining it and developing a clientele and then keeping your clientele. And, nowadays, whether you're in China or the United States or wherever, if you want to open a restaurant, you have to do social media. And so you're not just a restaurateur. You're also...
You're in marketing, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a lot. And so, we kind of had an edge on that as well. We were already doing social media and already kind of had a following on social media. And so, yeah, no, we got really lucky. It was probably the easiest ever that a restaurant was opened and run. But then, obviously, it was still really difficult, and there was a really steep learning curve.
I see behind you is a very scenic. There's literally a mountain and a river in the background. What?
Yeah,
you literally
bro.
have a park view, river view.
We have a amazing view from our apartment. It's the river that runs through, the entire region. It's called Xinan River.
We need to do some promotion on your on Huangshan to get people to come to the city. Why should people come to Huangshan, China?
Bro, everybody should come to Huangshan. I mean, really though, it is if you're doing a trip in China, Huangshan is probably on your list anyway. It's called Yellow Mountain in English. It is a natural UNESCO heritage and a cultural UNESCO heritage site. So it's a really unique place. It has very well preserved 1,000-year-old villages, and the mountain itself is geologically very unique and stunning. It's a great place to be in China. It's for its natural beauty and its unique culture. Like Huizhou is the region that we live in. And Hui culture, it's very unique, and it's an important part of Chinese culture as a whole. Historically, architecturally, the architecture here is unique. There's tea everywhere. 3 of the 10 most famous teas come from here. So we have Taiping Houkui, Qimeng Hongcha, and Huangshan Maofeng, which are 3 of the 10 famous teas, right? Yeah, it's beautiful. Just come check it out, man.
Yeah. I'm curious, what's the average rent? What's the monthly rent there?
I mean, come on. By American standards, it's free, but yeah. I mean, you can
one of those rural villages. I mean, it looks just from the video itself. I'm I can totally see myself live there. It's just it's a rural. It's very clean. And it's probably very safe as well.
Oh,
That sounds like, yeah,
very safe. That's for sure. I mean, if you're in a village, you can rent. I mean, the whole house. I don't know, but you don't really need the whole house, and there might not be an empty house. If there is, there's. It depends, but there's no way it's expensive. Like at most, like you could probably get the whole house. It's not like super fancy and luxurious, but it has hot water and everything that you need. It even has like AC units in each room or whatever. Wow, 1,000 to 1,500 RMB per month, so like $150 maybe.
Wow, that is really good. That's really good because I mean I came to Huangshan like I think this has to be at least like 10 years ago. But like even then, like I thought this was a nice city. Like I thought, like it's just like it's beautiful, and then it's like it's clean, and then the tourist area is like, it's not super hectic.
No,
that
it's
way.
not.
It's
It's
like
very peaceful.
Yeah, and it's a very well managed city. That's kind of what I thought. Like for a small city at the time, like smaller city in China was still kind of like, it hasn't caught up to like the bigger city. But Huangshan is like, I feel like it's always like nice. Right?
That's right. It's always nice. It's always been like nice and clean and stuff. Partly just because for hundreds of years, the architecture that they use, like how they built their villages and stuff, they're very well built. But then as the city goes, you're right. I think it's just because it's been a tourist destination for the past 30 years, and that's basically, what they've focused on. And so they try to make it like welcoming to tourists and not just like dirty and nasty or whatever. And now, compared to 10 years ago, the city, has modernized a lot, obviously, and you get a lot more creature comforts and city things than you did 10 years ago. So it's a really easy place to live. Like everything that you could possibly want, you can get, and there's cafes and, whatever you need. Basically, you have it. Yeah.
Yeah. If you want a pizza, you have it too.
Yeah, and now you got good pizza.
You have other items too, other than pizza. Like, do you make like other like pasta or other Italian stuff? Or
so right now we basically slashed our menu. We only have pizza and drinks like now. But yeah, before we had a whole kitchen, and we were making pastas, we were making risotto, we had burgers, we had tacos, we had salad. Dude, I was going for it. We had a huge menu for a time, and had some creative Huizhou Western dishes as well. Like, kind of, I was having fun. But right now we just completely slashed all of it. It's just pizza and beer and coffee.
I'm curious because I live in LA. There's a lot of tacos over here, and I always wondering like why taco didn't get big in China, because I feel like Chinese people would love taco. I mean, it's like it has a lot of tastier meat inside, and it can be spicy. So I'm curious, like, when you had taco at your restaurant, what was their reaction? And
well, so I have an answer to that question. First of all, Chinese people love tacos. And my tacos, they were like a beef kind of like, actually I made like the quesadilla tacos. It's like really popular, like quesadilla. And everybody loved them. But there's a thing with Mexican food here in China is it's really hard to source your ingredients. Like, that's really one of the cuisines that you can't get good quality Mexican ingredients. Like, really, really hard. Like tortillas, for example, you cannot get a good tortilla. The only tortilla that you can get is just an industrial, it's like the biggest brand in the world super industrialized. Obviously, that's why you can get it in China. But, have good Mexican food, obviously you need a good tortilla, whether it's corn or flour, it doesn't matter. I mean, you'd have to make your own corn tortillas from scratch, which any good restaurant, self-respecting restaurant should be doing anyway. We obviously weren't, we're not a Mexican restaurant. But that's an endeavor for another time.
Maybe in a few years we'll see Joe Wynn's taco stand.
Taqueria! Oh,
Taqueria,
yeah.
Maybe Adrien, maybe we can think of a Mexican name for you.
Adrien.
Adrian's Taqueria.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just like, because I've seen so many taco truck over here. I'm like, this is literally perfect on the streets of China. Like, have some like,
Totally.
very authentic, and it's also very spicy, and it's like,
Yeah,
so
actually,
we just need to get
it
the
would
ingredients.
It would work with street food too, just like a little cart.
Uh,
Go to like the night markets and just like sell legit tacos.
Yeah.
Oh
And
my
you
god!
can sell like margarita right there. Like,
Yeah, you can.
don't need like
you
an
don't need a
alcohol
liquor
license.
No, no,
Oh my
man.
god! All right, so thank you, Adrien, so much for being on China Unpacked. It was amazing talking to you, and it's such an inspirational story. And I hope this will inspire you, to pursue whatever you like, and maybe one day move to China. And whoever is watching,
Come on over.
hopefully come over. Start a taco stand. Okay, as always, thank you guys for watching China Unpacked. And my name is Victor, and this is.
I'm Adrien. Thank you so much, Victor.
Thank you, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye bye.